Today's January 22nd, 2022. So far this year, 5 police officers have been killed by gunfire. 2 officers have been killed because they were hit by a vehicle. 21 total have died, 14 being from COVID-19 complications. Just yesterday, 2 NYPD police officers were ambushed when they went into a house. They received a 911 call of a domestic disturbance. The mother claimed she was arguing with her son. No mention of any weapons. The officer went into the house, proceeded down the hall. Bedroom door came flying open. Suspect opened fire on 2 officers. A 3rd officer returned fire, killing the suspect. 1 officer, Jason Rivera, 22 years old, was killed. His partner, Wilbert Mora, 27 years old, is in critical condition right now in Harlem Hospital. The assault, the attack on law enforcement today has gotten so out of control that it's not even funny. And I'm calling it an ambush because I'm going to play a very quick video clip in a moment where the reporter, from what he's gathering, it's apparent that someone knew that there was a weapon in that apartment, and that's why they're calling it an ambush. These officers, I don't know if they had their guns drawn. I'm not there. I'm only telling you what I heard, what I read, and what I saw in a video. The attack on police officers is at an all-time high. And I think it really started to kick in back when St. George Floyd was killed by the Minneapolis, Minnesota, whatever. You know who George Floyd is. Watch this quick video clip. I'm going to come back and talk for a few more minutes.
Harlem, 2 NYPD officers shot when they were responding to a domestic dispute, and one of them has died.
Overnight, the NYPD identified those officers as 27-year-old Wilbert Mora, critically injured, and 22-year-old Officer Jason Rivera, who sadly lost his life.
Dozens of officers and firefighters paying their respects outside of Harlem Hospital last night for that fallen officer.
Officer shot, 1 killed in the line of duty. Somber procession at Harlem Hospital as the body of fallen officer Jason Rivera was led out. 22-year-old rookie of the department from Inwood, less than 2 years on the job with the NYPD. His partner, 27-year-old Wilbert Mora, in critical condition. Both officers shot in what police describe as an ambush in an apartment on 135th Street, very close to Harlem Hospital here. A woman called 911 saying she was fighting with her son. There was no mention of weapons. However, after speaking with her, the officers headed to a back bedroom where they came under fire as that door swung open. Both officers hit. The suspect himself was shot by a 3rd officer when that suspect tried to flee the apartment. For this new administration in City Hall, there is anger and frustration at gun violence and calls on Washington to help.
I am struggling to find the words to express the tragedy we are enduring. We're mourning and we're angry.
How are we removing thousands of guns off the street and they still find their way into New York City? In the hands of people who are killers.
Doing their job. That's what they signed up for. Some assholes will say, they know the danger of the job. Everybody who wants to become a police officer, correctional officer, deputy sheriff, state trooper, you know the dangers of the job, no matter where you work. Whether you work in a courthouse, you transport inmates, you respond to calls for service, blah, blah, blah. They know the drill. They know what's involved. But you don't expect to be called, and they do say domestic violence calls are some of the most dangerous calls a police officer can respond to. You didn't sign up to be ambushed by a career criminal who probably should have been in jail. From what the mayor says, this guy was a criminal. He's been in and out of prison, and quite frankly, he probably belonged in prison. Now he's dead. So I'm waiting to see where's BLM. Are they going to come out and say he was killed by a cop? They could have done something else. They didn't have to kill him. I hope not, because if they do, they're a bigger fraud than I already think they are. A 22-year-old police officer on the force for approximately 2 years is now dead. A son, a husband, a friend, a co-worker is gone because of a careless career criminal that has no regard for human life, not his own, nor his mother, if he was the one that was arguing with her, opens fire on the police because he figured, fuck, I'm going back to jail. They're not taking me out alive. You know these assholes, how they talk, right? They're all soldiers. They're all badass. They're all badass when they have guns in their hand. So my point to this quick video tonight is the assault, the attack on law enforcement today is at a disgustingly high rate. In 2021, 512 police officers died. 350 was supposedly COVID related, which is a tragedy in itself. 62 by gunfire. 3 were stabbed. 14 were struck and killed by a vehicle, either assisting someone on a highway or purposely struck and killed by a vehicle. 512 law enforcement officers around the country in 2021. And here we are, 3 weeks into 22. We already have 21 total who have lost their lives. Again, 14 to COVID. 3 gunfire, 2 vehicle, and those are the quick stats that I could find so far. I don't know what the solution is. We do hear all the politicians, let's gun control, gun control. It's not gun control. Responsible gun owners should not be punished for the criminals who get guns illegally. And we all know anybody who works in law enforcement or anybody in general, you know that you can get a gun anywhere. Criminals can buy guns at the corner store, at the bodega, at the fucking gas station down the street. It's so easy and they're so readily available. Now they're manufacturing these ghost guns. There's no serial numbers. Stolen handguns are everywhere. And the more guns the police take off the street, the more guns that reappear on the street, because there's an endless supply of firearms for criminals who want them, whether because they're just, I'll say it, they're just fucking cowards. They all think they're badass, gang members, whatever they call themselves. Without a gun, they're nothing. I've seen it. Anybody watching this who works in law enforcement has seen it. They're nothing without a firearm or another group of nitwits surrounding them. It's got to end, and I don't know where the ending begins. But, I always fall back on politicians, but, they want to change this, they want to change that, they want to defund the police. So how's that working out? We all know that. That went right in the toilet. Most of the communities who were begging to defund the police are now begging for more police. But the bottom line is there is no respect for law and order today. There's no respect for public safety as a whole. Mostly law enforcement. Firefighters get injured, paramedics, EMTs, they're getting injured by people they're out trying to save their lives. They're administering Narcan to somebody who's overdosing on something. The person wakes up and attacks them. I Narcan someone. He woke up. He didn't attack me, but he wasn't happy because I took away his high. The guy was dead. Like, just gone. Very, very, he was breathing very little. Anyways, when you do something like that, you expect gratitude from a person, I would imagine, because you just saved their life. But I guess that's what the drug does. It's got hold of them. So they're like, you just ruined my high. They don't realize that they were almost dead. But now you hit them with Narcan, it takes their high away. And now you're the one that did it, so you're the bad guy. Be that as it may, the crisis in this country, as I see it, on law enforcement and public safety needs to stop. The men and women who put a badge on every night, every day, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day to go out and protect the communities they work in, they want to go home to their loved ones at the end of their tour. They're out there to help complete strangers. They are receiving calls for service for, you name it, it's out there. I'm not going to try to, count how many calls for this, how many calls for that. We all know what police officers do. And yes, we all know there's some bad police officers out there. But as a whole, anyone who gets in law enforcement today is doing it because that's their calling. That's what they want to do. They want to be a cop. They want to go out there and they want to protect. They want to serve. They want to help people, regardless of their status in the community, whether they're rich and famous, whether they're homeless, somebody down and out, whatever. The police are there to help you. You call, they come, end of story, any time of day or night. You can guarantee when you call 911, someone is coming to help you. As did these two officers, Rivera and Mata, last night in Harlem. Received a call for service as domestic, went to the call, and here we are today. One is dead, one is clinging to life because of a cowardly act by a criminal who has no regard for human life. Not his own, not his family, and certainly not the people who protect and serve these communities every day. So if you will, keep law enforcement in your thoughts and appreciate them, because we all know people don't like cops today. A lot of people do, a lot of people don't. But it's a job that not everybody wants to do. The ones who want to be the Monday morning quarterbacks on the Facebook and the Instagram, the know-it-alls, the ones who don't have what it takes to do a job like that, they got all the answers, but the bottom line is they don't have what it takes to do the job like the men and women who do it day in and day out, every single day of the year. So keep them in your thoughts. It's a tragic situation, and the attack on police has to stop somewhere. And I don't know where that is, but it's my belief that politics play a big role. And I know I talk about politics all the time, but politicians write the laws. They make the laws. Never mind gun control. Never mind defund the police. That's all bullshit. Responsible people should be able to own a firearm, whether it's a handgun, an AR-15, shotgun, whatever a responsible, law-abiding citizen wants to own, they should be able to own. And quite frankly, people need that today with the amount of crime in this country. They need protection for themselves and their family. So if you're against guns, I'm sorry, I'm not. A firearm is not a danger in the hands of a good person. A firearm is a danger in the hands of a criminal, because that's all they know. And we've seen it again, and we're going to continue to see it. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know if it's ever going to stop. But that's all I wanted to say tonight, that another police officer was killed. And if anybody watching this is a police officer, thank you for your service. I certainly appreciate you. And stay safe, and the rest of us definitely have your back, no matter what. Thanks for watching my video tonight. Hit the like button if you will, if you haven't already. Consider subscribing to my channel. Hit the notification bell and share my videos if you will to someone you know who may want to hear what I have to say. I appreciate you all. I hope you're healthy and safe, and I'll be back soon with something else to talk about, good or bad. I'm coming back with more. Have a great night.